First Chronicles 14:8-11. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, they went up in full force to search for him. But David heard about it and went out to meet them. Now the Philistines had come and raided the valley of Rephaim, so David inquired of God, "Shall I go and attack the Philistines? Will you hand them over to me?" The Lord answered him, "Go, I will hand them over to you." So David and his men went to Baal Perazim, and there he defeated them. He said, "As waters break out, God had broken out against my enemies by my hand." So that place was called Baal Perazim. The problem that David was facing was very real and very old. The Philistines chose to attack Israel just after David had been anointed as king of Israel. They came when David may not have had the complete strength of the country at his disposal. The goal of the Philistines was to find David and to defeat him. David had shamed the Philistines in battle, and now they were determined to attack him. David did not sit and wait for the problem to go away. He took quick action to deal with the situation. David approached the crisis with courage, confidence, and clarity. He knew what needed to be done and how he would get it done. Since we are a spiritual people, we too will face spiritual attacks. Life can just get to us from time to time as we face the grind of daily living. Daily living can be enough to rob us of spiritual strength and effectiveness. The difficulties we have will not just simply vanish. We need to identify the problems we have and take positive action to find powerful solutions. As we face our difficulties, we need to have courage, confidence, and clarity. All these things are provided for us by the Holy Spirit. David understood that he needed God's direction before he went into battle. David had won his fair share of battle, including his victory over Goliath. David could have easily relied on his own personal military experience, confidence, and skill as a warrior to handle this situation. But before David attacked the Philistines now, he stopped and asked for God's direction and was seeking guidance in two critical areas. One, shall I attack? Two, will you hand them to me? David waited for God's answer before he attacked. David depended on God so greatly that when the Philistines attacked a second time, he sought again before he attacked. We have just as many reasons to be confident like David. We have seen God's work in mighty way. Just because we have experienced God's power, grace, and presence in the past does not guarantee that we will continue to experience it in the future. The only way to experience God's power in fresh ways is to seek Him, and the only way to know His direction is to ask for it. We should approach life the same way that David approached that battle, and we need to ask similar question. Should we take this course of action? Will you be with me in a powerful way if I obey? I think that far too often we just do what we think is right and what we think is best without the direction of God. One of the greatest problems in the life of us as Christians is that we fail to seek God's guidance and we lack the patience to wait to receive His direction. Can we learn that today? Be blessed.